chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In this moment, powers redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. The ballot's here, the moment's near. Your voice is loud, it's crystal clear. Kiwi dreams and hopes collide. Choose the ones who'll stand with pride. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. The future's written in your hand. A chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. There's a fortune in your hand, a chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In this moment, powers redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot.
Kia koutou everyone, ko loa te Hawaii tukuinga, and welcome to this very special show. We've got all the candidates here in front of us, and we're going to be asking them lots of questions today. So first things first is we're going to start off with our opening statements. Susan.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Susan Lyford. I'm a local businesswoman. I work in the allied health industry. I have been fortunate to be here 8 years last week. I moved here for affordable housing and I've stuck around. I have a desire to actually stand for council and actually give back to the community that has supported me in the last 3 years with my business. Prior to that, I was working for a local industry, and I actually have met amazing people all around here. And I'd like to be honest with you guys and how I can help you through this afternoon event. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Trev, your opening statement, please.
Hello and kia ora. My name is Trev Moore. I'm proudly called Dannevirke home for the past 10 years. Like many of you, I care deeply about this community, not just the place, but the people, the stories, the spirit that makes it special. A few years ago, I was involved in a serious accident that nearly cost me my life. Thanks to the quick response of the rescue helicopter team, I'm still here today. Standing before you, actually sitting, healthy, grateful, and determined to give back. That experience changed me. That reminded me just how precious life is and how important community truly is. 6 months after the accident, I walked 265 kilometres to help raise over $30,000 for the very rescue team that saved me. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Because when you love a place, you step up. And that's exactly why I'm standing for council. For the past 3 years, I've been a part of a small, passionate group of volunteers who refused to let our local cinema die. Together, we brought it back from the brink, turning it into a vibrant, welcoming place space where people can come together, laugh, cry, share stories and make memories. That's what I want to bring to the council. Community spirit, accountability and action. I'm not a career politician. I'm someone who rolls up their sleeves and gets stuck in. Whether it's reviving a cinema, raising money for life-saving services, or listening to a neighbour in need. I show up and I will keep showing up for you, for your family and for your future. I believe Tararua has so much potential, but we need people at the table who care, who listen and who understand what it's like to live, work and raise families here. People who know the value of every dollar, every volunteer, every small success that adds up to something greater. I don't have all the answers, but I do have energy, commitment, and a deep love for this town and Tararua as a whole. One thing that has been made clear to me by doing street talk is that people feel left out of the decisions being made by council on behalf and for the ratepayers. If elected, I will bring your voice to council and make sure it's heard loud and clear. Together, let's build a future we can all be proud of. Thank you, and I humbly ask for your support and for your vote.
Okay, Irana?
Ko irana Piti Weber toku ingoa. My name is Irana Piti Weber. I'm born and bred in Dannevirke. I've served the past 6 years as your Deputy Mayor for Tararua, standing up for our district, just like we all did recently with the Toll-Free Tararua campaign. I've also proudly served as a Justice of Peace for the past 10 years, and I also chair the local branch, a role that demands honesty, integrity, trust and confidentiality. I'm standing again because I believe in Tararua. I believe in our people. My priority is keeping our district affordable while making it a place where our tamariki and rangatahi see a future. With my experience, passion and proven leadership, I'm ready to keep working hard for you. Together we can keep Tararua moving forward.
Thank you for that. Now I'll pass it over to Steve for their opening statement.
Right, the timer is on, so here we go. Hi, my name's Steve Wallace. Dannevirke is where I've grown up, raised a family and built a life. I have previously served on a school board of trustees, and I'm currently on the executive committee of the Dannevirke RSA, a member of the Dannevirke Rawhiti Lodge. Both of these organisations hold deep roots in our community. I'm seeking re-election as a Northern Ward councillor. My last 3 years as Deputy Chair of Infrastructure, Climate Change and Emergency Committee has given me a deep insight into the real challenges of our district and what we face, and we need for more practical and grounded leadership. I feel I have a lot to offer and more to finish for the betterment of our community.
And now we'll pass it over to Sharon for their opening statement.
Hi, I'm Sharon Wards and I'm currently in my second term on council. Our Tararua district faces some unprecedented changes. There may be a new mayor, there will definitely be new councillors, and we will appoint a new CE next year. An experienced argue for changes in our priorities with a focus on core services. and I've had some great debates over our debt levels. I'm a voice of experience in changing times. It would be a privilege to serve another term on council. Thank you.
Now we'll hand it over to Alison for their opening statement.
Kia ora, my name is Alison Amboy, grown and raised here in Dannevirke. I'm a proud local business owner with qualifications in business, experience in governance and policy, and an active volunteer in our community. I know firsthand the challenges and opportunities that we face here in the Tararua. I stand before you today as a proud representative of our younger generation, a voice for those often overlooked in the decision-making table. As a minority, I understand the barriers to being heard, and I'm committed to creating a space where everyone has a seat at the table. Accountability and open using your voice.
Thank you, Alison. And now we'll pass it over to James for their opening statement.
Yeah, hello. I'm James Walker. I'm born and bred in Dannevirke. Been here all my life. I've got a wife, 2 children, grandchildren, and I treat this community very passionately. I'm a member of the Dannevirke Golf Club, which I've been a member of the management committee for 18 years, and we've brought our debt down to, well, we actually have no debt now at the Dannevirke Golf Club through stringent management. Also associated with the Dannevirke Sports Club that we volunteer with as well. I've got a passion for getting back to the basics and doing things right. And I'm open to anybody's suggestions. There's always more than one way to do things. So, and I'm always there for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And now we'll pass it over to Michael for his opening statement.
I only got the questions late last night and I got home from work at 1 a.m, so I'll just speak from the heart. I'm running for community board, council, and then I upped my game to mayor. What really triggered it was seeing that we're going to have water meters, and I just lost it big time. I want results, I want accountability, and I want to tear apart the books and go through with a fine-tooth comb what the money's actually been spent on. Numbers don't lie, they don't have opinions, they're just numbers. That's getting back to basics. Also, I don't have all the answers. I'm hoping that councillors with prior wisdom do make it through so that we can utilise each other the best as possible to work for the community. But I want accountability and I want the rates to go down. Now, the rates for Wapukarau recently came up and they've increased massively. Our new rates haven't been nailed through yet, but they will also increase. And I think that the community will feel just as frustrated as I do when they get their new rates bill and see what the reality is going to be for how you're going to have to pay for those rates. Also, for local business to survive, to keep what you've got and I just want accountability and to tear apart those books and get results, real results.
Thank you, Michael. And now pass.
And thank you for coming today. That's me then. Thank you. Welcome and thank you for coming out today. A short intro. I was born in Dannevirke, lived and worked here for 33 years, travelled with the family to Taupo for a further 20 years and returned home in 2015. So I need community and supported the initiative to start up an Egyptian support team, which lasted 4 years. Thanks so much to Ali for her support in Dannevirke. We do have wonderful people in Tararua for sure. I chose to return to work in my line of work, which is social work, in 2023, and thankful for the experience. Someone who has always been a critical and out-the-box thinker has brought me here today. Councils have changed over time and continue to do so. Will they even be a thing in the future? With the many candidates that have stepped up once again, it is clear change is wanted. It is now up to you, the community, to decide more of the same or vote for change. I acknowledge that it will not be easy, and with the wealth of experience and knowledge already in council, there is also a need for conscience and courage for our communities. Vote for Dot Watson. Time for change. Vote for the same or get the same. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dot. And last and not least, Thomas for their opening statement.
Kia ora tātou, ko Thomas Scott tuku ingoa. My family moved here when I was 2 years old. My grandfather, Walter Scott, was the last surviving mounted rifleman from World War I. He's buried in our servicemen's urupa down at Mangatara Cemetery. My younger brother is buried there. I'm educated from here. I went away to Teachers College, and then I came back here to teach. I was head of PE up at the high school. I'm a very passionate individual. I inspire others to achieve their best. I moved back here in May of last year, working for Kahununu, Ngāti Kahununu, ki Tāmaki Nui Arua, and my role, believe it or not, is to help community members achieve their dreams and aspirations. When I came back here to town, I wanted to use my skills, put them on the table here, and stand for council. That's why I'm standing. I have skills as a business owner, sports marketing in Australia, a Kai store here in New Zealand, and traffic management operations manager, and now in the community, helping our community members. I am your strong voice for our community. Mr. Scott's got you. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora for that, everyone. And I'd just like to give a reminder to the candidates that we do have a timer on the screen. So please try to keep statements within 1 minute. Otherwise we'll be here all day. Okay. So what we're going to do now is each candidate is going to pick a box, and we're going to start with Susan. So you get to choose a box from between letter A and letter Z.
No, 1 to 28.
Oh, 1 to 28, sorry.
Yeah, they're the card, they're the question letters on the card. So
of course.
So yes.
Yes, thank you, Sam.
That's
Okay.
all right.
Right, it's my granddaughter's birthday today. She's turning 9, so we'll go for number 9.
Go for number 9. Okay. So we've got 9 there. So N for November, unless we can find a town name that starts with N there. Regarding the recent 2024 issues affecting the council's rates direct debit payments, how would you handle such a situation if it was, and I'll give it on more of it if it was to occur again?
Right, I do have to put my hand up. I was one of the first to find this fault because I was talking with a friend who's was on direct debit, and she was getting a rebate, and we were discussing the rates increase of that particular year, and we went through and we had a look at her account and saw, oh, you still owe money even if we take into account the payments that are coming up. So she actually went off to the council and got that sorted. But for myself, I believe that if we have the same thing happen again, that late payment fees should be actually removed. It's not fair for every other ratepayer to carry those if they were to wipe that debt. That's not fair. The other thing we have to remember is that humans are actually data entering this information. There's always going to be a chance of error, but there should be checks and balances in place to make sure that can be picked up and addressed before it gets out of hand.
Thank you, Susan. Now I'll pass it on to Trev. What number box would you like to pick?
I've got 4 children, so I go with 4.
Go for number 4. No problem. Okay, so A for Alpha. What political party are you linked to? Microphone. So those at home can hear us.
None.
Oh, that's short, sharp, and sweet. Okay.
Thank you, Trev. Okay, now I'll pass it over to Irana. Which box would you like to pick?
I'll go for 7, thank you.
Go for 7. Okay, so we've got number 7 there. And we got U for uniform. What is your approach to handling controversial and complicated issues?
Sorry, I'll just find my notes. My approach to controversial, complicated issues is to be upfront and honest with the community. People deserve clear information about what's happening, why decisions are being made, and what the impacts might be. Even when the news isn't popular, I believe telling the truth builds trust. I'd also take the time to listen to the different perspectives, weigh up the facts, and explain the reasoning behind any decision. Openness and honesty are the best way to work through tough issues, and all councils are going to have tough issues going on.
Thank you, Irana. And now I'll pass it on to Steve. Which numbered box would you like to pick, sir?
13.
13, okay. Oh, good. One that's in the front row. Okay, we've got question Z for Zulu. Being an elected member of council requires a huge amount of reading. Council agendas can range from 200 to 600 pages each month sometimes. How will you extra details when needed and avoid in person or on social media?
Yes. Because what we do is a lot of information, and yes, I do get up very early in the morning. I find the morning's the best time for me to take it all in. And if I cannot find the answers that I'm happy with in the documents that have been given to us, I do go searching. We're lucky we live in the information age, which is now. And you can, out of most times, you can find things that are either right or wrong, or you challenge, and that's the good thing about council. We get the right to challenge, because not everything you read, or not everyone's opinion is correct. And that's what makes good about democracy, because this is what it's about, the information age. And I find that most people, with the information and the people that the council use, at times, we do get the right information fed to the council.
Thank you, Steve. And now we'll pass it on to Sharon. Which numbered box would you like to pick?
Number 20, is that still there?
I'm pretty sure we can find 20 there at the moment. Yes, we do have a 20. Okay, we've got T for Tango. What voluntary, in brackets, unpaid work do you do for the community?
Does being a farm worker on my farm count? That's unpaid. Just saying back there. I'm done an awful lot in this community that has been voluntary. I'm currently a very active member with the Lions Club, and I've been part of them for 10 years. Done some fantastic service work and project work with them. I'm also do a bit of work in the church voluntarily, but one of the proudest roles that I play, which is probably not well known in this community, is I'm a trustee of the Arahanui Hospice, and have been so for the last 5 years. So the ability to be able to provide a rural perspective to the great work that particular hospice based in Palmerston North does is very special. I've done a lot of voluntary work in schools here, preschools. I've been out and about an awful lot doing a whole lot of governance work, often unpaid. So I'm well connected and very voluntary. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And now I'll pass it over to Alison. What number box would you like to pick?
11, please.
Go for 11. Ooh, what's that? No, one too high. There we are. We got lucky number 11. And we get H for hotel. What can council do to improve youth engagement in elderly services without hitting ratepayers who don't use those services with big costs?
So I am a big supporter of a youth council or a youth forum where young people are able to get involved, as well as civic engagements in schools. I also believe that there are a lot of benefits for elderly in the community, such as community transport and council-funded housing. So it's all about improving and further supporting those services, so it's making it easier for elderly.
Thank you, Alison. And now I'll hand it over to James. Which number box would you like to pick, sir?
21, please.
21. Oh, yes, that's a good age. Was the drinking age at one stage until we loaded it to, I think, did it get lowered to 20 before it got to 18? I'm trying to think. I've only ever known it as 18, but I do remember the days of driving at 15. Okay, so we got Q for Quebec. What do you plan to improve economic growth in our community? How do we attract young families and professionals to our area?
I personally feel that Tararua, we actually need probably about another 2,000 houses in our district. More houses, we pay less rates. Well, we don't. Well, there's more rates generated. Our shops flourish. It's something we've got to try to make easier. I don't know how as a council we can do it to make it easier for people to come and build here, make it easier for businesses. I've got people that I know that have come here and they have said that they found it hard to get permits, get all the consents through. So we've got to look at ways to attract people for that and, yeah, build more housing, get more housing developments going.
Thank you, James. And now I'll pass it over to Michael. Which box would you like to pick?
I actually thought we were going to answer all the questions individually, but everything starts from somewhere, so I'll pick number 1.
Box number 1. No, it's only community boards we can race through all the questions. When it comes to the big shows, where there's lots of them, you pick from the boxes. And today's one is E for Echo. All very important for this area. Do you think council is doing enough to maintain Tarua's rural roads?
So this is an issue I spoke to someone about earlier. I'm quite happy to lobby governments to get funding for those roads. It's not fair that, say, Napier, that's only 100 square miles roughly, versus our 1,600 square miles, has 3 times the population to service such a tiny amount of road end. That maybe to make it equal for all councils, that maybe lobby the government that maybe the councils cover roading up to, say, 1,000 kilometres, and then between 1,000 and 2,000 kilometres, the government gives X amount of extra funding, and then, say, from 3,000 to 4,000 kilometres of roading, that the government gives X amount of lots more extra funding, because it's not fair for the region to have to pay for such a humongous amount of roads for our size versus our population. But this is also a national argument, and I'm absolutely fine to go to Wellington with other mayors to support the issue, to lessen the load for ratepayers in general.
Thank you, Michael. And now I'll pass it over to Dot. Which box would you like to pick?
16, please.
number 16. Oh yes, the current age to get a driver's license at. Okay, we've got J for Juliet. Spending needs to be within budget without increasing rates. What services or luxuries will you stop?
I would love to stop all unnecessary luxuries. Streamline and more efficiency is needed.
Thank you for that very short answer, Dot. Okay, now we'll pass it over to Thomas. Which box would you like to pick?
Yeah, let's go number 2.
Number 2. Okay. Okay, we have F for Foxtrot. There have been much media coverage about candidates' behaviour towards their fellow candidates over the country. What are your personal values that make you a suitable candidate to be a councillor?
Oh, kia ora tātou. I'm a passionate individual, I'm a team leader and a great team player. Those that know me and have been involved with me know that I like people to gel together. I'm not there to stir things up, but I am there to raise points that are of importance to make our team move forward. My reason for standing for council is those skills and attributes and values that I have as an individual will come together for the team. I want your vote, but you need to be very, very sure about your other votes so that we have a great team. I'll be part of their great team. I'll help mould a great team. Those are my values, those are my standards. That's why Mr. Scott's got you.
Thank you for that, Thomas. And now we're going to pass it back to Suzanne. Which box would you like to pick?
We'll go for number 8. Thanks.
Number 8. Oh, thank you for getting one from the front row. Okay, we got O for Oscar. Issues around climate change are becoming more important. What are your thoughts on supporting anubiotic robotic digestion of food waste to produce biogas similar to the plant in Repara? And a very big point to make in there, please note this is not an incineration of general waste.
Righty-ho, I actually had to Google this biomass plant and it found, I learned that it can, this biomass gas can actually replace CNG and that sort of thing. But if there was a company that was interested in developing this, you know, with the planning process and things like that, I'd hope that it would be a notifiable process and that then the community can actually have input into this and see how it will affect them, and hopefully there'd actually be more jobs created and that would also be beneficial to our communities. However, there's always the thing, it's actually a highly flammable gas, so there'd be extra considerations that would need to be taken into account to keep everyone safe on that production line. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Suzanne. Now pass it over to Trev again. Which number box would you like to pick?
Oh, 6 grandchildren. Let's go for 6.
Gee, you beating my grandma on that one. She's only got 4.
My mother's got 112.
Oh, heck, that's a lot.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Okay, we got I for igloo. Okay, we have people selling their homes, retired people, older working couples moving out of the district due to simply not being able to afford the rates here in Ekatahuna. Tararua is an ageing population, the young are leaving, and now the old can't afford to stay. If elected, what would you do? What will you be doing to reduce wasteful spending so people can afford to continue to live here?
Okay, thank you. I would review council spending to ensure every dollar is well targeted, cut waste, and prioritise projects that provide clear value exploring efficiencies and transparent decision-making will help maintain essential services while keeping Tararua affordable for all residents.
Thank you for that, Trev. Now we're going to pass it over to Irana. Which number box would you like to pick?
Is 14 still there?
Yes, and also in the front row. Okay, we got D for Delta. Much of council's work involves reading and understanding technical reports on topics like infrastructure, finance and legislation, often in areas you may not be familiar with. What's your process for getting up to speed in complex subjects quickly and making informed decisions? I have to say, I do like some of these questions that have come.
Slightly different than that one.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
Yeah. And I like some of these are very fantastic questions that people have submitted into the forms because these aim for informative answers.
When I get a technical report, I start by reading the summary, the purpose and the key points like costs, risks and options. If something isn't clear, I'll what's being proposed. Search online and look at what other councils have done in similar situations. Their reports can give new ideas and help put things into perspective. I think it's important to balance expert advice with what's practical and affordable for our community, so that any decision I make is informed, realistic, and in our district's best interests.
Thank you, Irana. Now pass it back over to Steve. Which number box would you like to pick?
I'll go for 10, please.
So for 10. Sorry, missed it over the muff. Was it? Just blame my hearing on that one. Okay, we got V for violin. If you are elected as a councillor, will you decelerate council spending on unwanted projects and concentrate on vital, necessary infrastructure needs such as roading and water?
Yes, in short, but everything's got to be balanced because everything we want has to be paid for. So everything has to be, you've got to look at things in a pragmatic way that in an order that's needed. And give me 2 seconds on my page, just flip the other way. V. My time's running out here. Yeah, so no, what we need to do is the nice to haves are nice to have, and that's exactly what they are, but they all come at a cost. So we don't have nice to haves if we can't afford them. So what we really need to do is look at what is needed and make sure that the money is spent on roading, is where we are at V now, and that's good, that our necessary infrastructure is needed, so the water and the roading comes first every time. Because without water, we're not going to be in a good space. So, just in short, as an elected councillor at the present time, the green projects that we are looking at are basically everything that needs to be done. We don't want to have all the flowery stuff. The flowery stuff is the stuff that's going to put us offline. And there's only so much money out there, and we need to spend it wisely. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And now we'll head off to Sharon. What number box would you like to pick?
I'll go for number 3. Is that on
Number 3, no problem. It saves me having to walk around.
Thought that would help.
We got W for whiskey. What do you think you're why do you think you're right for the role of councillor?
I've been doing it for the past 6 years. If I'm not doing it right, you folks will tell me. I'm right for the role because I've got significant and many years of experience as a governor. I'm qualified with the Institute of Directors in Good Governance. I am passionate about our community. I've been here for 36 years. I'm well why are we doing this compared I'm committed and energetic. Some of the communities that I advocate for see a lot of me, and I think there's real value in making sure that I'm always out there doing the role of kaitiaki for our ratepayers. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sharon. And now I'll pass it back over to Alison. What number box would you like to pick?
22, please.
22. Well, that's a good number. Not going to say, is it not for a chance of your birthday as well as mine? No, it's a very, very fun day to be born on Labour Day of 1990. Okay, we got Y for Yankee. What are you going to do to ensure the burden of cost of running our district doesn't just keep getting pushed onto the future generations?
So that's a very important question. So what I believe we need to do is we need to fix and address the problems firsthand, spend smarter, and not just keep holding off things year after year. It is also about taking accountability for mistakes and things that could have been done to improve outcomes.
Thank you for that, Alison. Now I'll pass it back over to James. Which box would you like to pick?
24.
24. Okay, we've got K for Kilo. How do you plan to use deliberative democracy to ensure rural residents can directly contribute, ensure residents can directly contribute to the challenges of an urban-rural community faces?
I'm going to be there for anybody, anytime. If anyone has got an issue, they can phone me. Doesn't matter whether you're a Southern Ward, Northern Ward. I'm there for Tararua District Council. It's communication is such a big thing, and openness and honesty, integrity is something that I'm quite passionate about. You have to, if you believe in something, go for it, but you've also got to, if you're wrong, stand up and say, yes, I am wrong, and I'm willing to do that. If I'm in the wrong, I will do that. That's where I'm at.
Thank you, James. And now I'll pass it over to Michael. What box would you like to pick?
Is lucky number 7 down?
No, I can do you 5 or 12.
What about 2?
No, that's gone.
I'll go for
Okay, we got M for Mike. The central government messaging about councils being a core reason for the cost of living crisis due to wasteful spending. Do you think that is the case? Why or why not?
That's definitely the case, especially with inflation. The cost of, I had a property in Dannevirke, maybe 2017, 2018, and that was $170 odd in rates, and now that I think that would probably be closer to $340 a month in rates, and inflation is far in excess for rates versus what the 2 to 6% annual inflation. We've got to control the spending period, and it has to be smart spending, and it has to be accountable spending, where someone has to put their hand up and go, I screwed up, I'll actually resign if I do that. There has to be real accountability for the spending, and rates has to stop just being gouged out of the ratepayers every month.
Thank you, Michael. Pass it back over to Dot. What number box would you like to pick?
Is 6 there?
16. We do have, no, we've got a 17 or a 15.
6.
Oh, 6. No, as low as 12.
12 then.
12? Okay. We got G for golf, and no Donald Trump, considering he likes golf courses. Okay. The government and the taxpayers union have been accusing councils of being irresponsible with large percentage rates increase. What is your view?
Right. Rates are a huge issue. Not just locally, but nationally. I don't have a view when it comes to politics or things between politics, as it's a minefield. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Dot, for that very short answer. Now I'll pass it over to Thomas. What number box would you like to pick?
15.
15. Okay. A, B, Alpha Bravo. What's your biggest priority for the next term, and how do you intend on delivering it?
Copyright. So, coming back to Dannevirke.
Hold the microphone up a little bit more.
Coming back to Dannevirke last year, when I walked from one end of the town back down to the other end, and I was just absolutely flabbergasted by the number of empty shops. Dare I say it, the number of second-hand shops, and all respect to those businesses, but there must be more for our community. There has to be more. So I want to revitalise business growth here. We've heard it from some of the other candidates that that's important. Let's make our second-hand shops the best ones in the country, okay? We've got to think outside the box. Who's been to Arrowtown here? Okay, Arrowtown, way back when, I don't know when, but many, many moons ago, the council down there made the courageous decision to maintain and retain the character of that town. You go there now, all those old buildings are still there, those cobblestone roads still there. Let's think outside the square. We can do this.
Now, we have a bit of a dilemma here. We've only got 8 boxes, but we've got 10 candidates.
How about a duel to the death? Fight over the boxes. No. Okay.
Should we grab another 2 that have already been there and recirculate them?
Oh, we could do that, or we could open the floor up to the audience to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
What does the audience think? What would you guys like to do? You'd like to ask a question, sir?
Yep. Come up here and we'll put you on a microphone. Come down this side.
Thank you.
Suzanne, this one's for you.
Well, okay, Suzanne, but Dot, I'd actually like to ask this one first. What's your position on the Mary Woods, which were put in? That's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already got that in there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so why are there so many payments to iwi? And everybody in New Zealand is equal under the New Zealand Bill of Rights. And also, could the council please explain why they're given a $1 million interest-free loan to iwi of our tax ratepayers' money? I could go on and on and on. But,
Please try to stick to one question, if you may.
oh, okay. Well, so why do we have racist Mary wards? And everybody in New Zealand is equal under the New Zealand Bill of Rights.
Right, my understanding it's legislated under the Local Government Rating Act of 2002.
But it was voluntary to be put under the council, and you just passed it.
Sir, please, if we
Are
may.
you
this
talking
is
about the
not-
wards or the rates?
We're talking about the wards.
This is not a debate between the audience and the candidates. It's just a question.
Well, isn't that what I'm asking?
Yeah, but you are now engaging into a debate.
Oh, okay, so I'm not allowed to talk.
No, you are. You're allowed to ask a question, but we're trying to limit the amount of back and forth because otherwise we're going to run out of time.
I thought we had a democracy here, but anyway, carry on.
So just to clarify, you're asking about the Māori wards?
Yes.
And where I stand on that?
Yep.
Okay, since 2000, the council has had a agreement or a partnership agreement with Rangatani, and in 2019 they established one with Ngāti Kahungunu. I'm not standing on and I'm not currently on the council, so I have not got access to actually what's in that and the consultation processes that allows. I do believe that with those partnerships in standing that are there now, that we possibly don't need a separate Māori ward seat.
Correct, thank you. That's good.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, right. Did anyone else from the audience have a question?
Tēnā tātou, ko ki Shanti waka tōku ingoa. Oh, I don't know if I want to be. Kia ora, ko ki Shanti waka tōku ingoa. I'm currently running for the Māori wards and I live in Whitfield. I grew up there my whole life and I'm very excited to stand and potentially be a part of the council. My question was, for me, connection between council and marae are extremely important. Those are the hubs of Māori and, you know, my people, our people. So I just wanted to ask, how strong is your relationship with the marae from the scale of 1 to 5, 5 being strong, 1 being not so strong?
Was that question for anyone in particular, or?
It's a quick question, maybe everyone could answer and just give a number.
5 is the strongest one. 5.
2.
Sorry. 5 if utilised properly.
3. Well, that's an interesting one. I haven't been on a marae for experienced the full participation, but yeah, I can't really answer that. So yeah, where I would sit though, there is a referendum coming up, so the people of New Zealand will answer the question of going back to the Māori wards, and I'm pleased that is coming up, so everyone can have their say. We live in a democracy.
Can you just give an answer, give a rating scale, please?
Okay, 2.
2.
I've slept on one marae and been welcomed onto most of the others, so 3 to 4. Thanks for asking.
3.
I'd say a 4. I am a whakapapa to Kaitoki and I also to Makarikiri. Yes, so I believe I'm a 4.
3. I have a complicated history with my whakapapa. Sometimes it's like a family, sometimes it's we're all looking at each other very suspiciously. It depends on the marae, it depends on the situation, it depends on what's been discussed at that meeting.
Thank you very much for your question.
I think
Okay,
it's time for us to take a break.
yes, I believe so.
And we're back, you're meant to be doing this one, but we'll be back in about 10 minutes for hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions.
Written in your hand, the chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned, and that's how we shape this land divine. breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Into the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. The lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. short little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now, you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Into the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. The lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. short little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee for snacks tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Head to the lobby, I'm in your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. With glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Head to the lobby, I'm in your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime.
Kia ora koutou and welcome back to today's special Northwood It's in the Ballot candidate show. And now we're off to hard-hitting questions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you do not need to worry about me screaming at you about the hard-hitting questions, I assure you. Okay, so we'll start off with hard-hitting question number 1. Okay, all right, so how would you have responded to the fluoride directive that was imposed on the Northern Ward and will be coming for the Southern Ward? I'd like to ask Suzanne to start off.
Sorry, can you just correct? My name is Susan.
Susan, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, interesting debate because I've had people on social media try to lure me into stating whether I'm for or against fluoride. But the way council's handling of it I felt was fair. After all, it was a directive. It wasn't a choice that could be voted on. So that in order for the people concerned that were raising the issues to actually ask us to go ahead and fight it in court, there was no mandate that we could open the checkbook and do so. And there was no guarantee that we would be successful, and in which case other councils have been landed with court costs, which we could not afford. But now with the current situation, with any policy that is introduced, I expect there to be a review period. And since the Director General of Health is the only person that can say to add or not to add fluoride to our water, I'd be asking what's the review time frame period, and at what point would the directive to revoke or give the council leave to appeal and have a binding referendum could happen.
Thank you, Susan. Same question for Trev.
Yes, fluoride water, interesting. I know it was mandated by the government. I'm totally against fluoride in water. Thankfully, I live on a farm and I have a bore and I have rainwater. So my water is nice and fresh and clean, and bacteria in there that's going to help me with my health problems. So it's all good. But what would I do? What would I do? One of the things is get a bore in town for fresh water for those who do not want to drink fluoride. Thank you.
Thank you, Trev. And now the same question for Irana.
When our children's teeth are amongst the worst in the country, why wouldn't we add fluoride to our water? Communities with fluoridated water have significantly low rates of tooth decay. Fluoride strengthens enamel, helps prevent cavities, and is one of the most affordable ways to protect children's and adults' teeth. Many of us even grew up with fluoride tablets. I know I did. Our council acted responsibly, avoiding millions in potential fines and court costs by requesting the Ministry of Health to delay fluoridation until the legal directive was clarified. In contrast, Whangarei chose to ignore the directive, costing their ratepayers in excess of $60,000 in legal fees and fines. Adding fluoride is a safe, proven and cost-effective step to better oral health for our community.
Thank you, Irana. And now I'll pass it on to Steve.
Yes, well, fluoride, it's been mandated by the government, and that's where I sit with it. I think we have to live by the law of the land, and that's what it is.
Thank you, Steve. And now I'll pass it off to Sharon.
Thank you. One of the challenges when you're on council is that you're required to enact directives and comply with legislation, knowing that we have no influence to change it. That's one of the challenges. I have my own personal views on the efficacy of fluoride in our drinking water, and I respect that there are differing views around our community, and council has been very open and inviting those views to be expressed. I've always listened to those views. My focus, though, in council has always been on ensuring that the costs and risks associated with not complying with the directive, it was just too high for our ratepayers. The fine of $10,000 a day for not complying and the cost of legal advice for challenging that through court was untenable for our community.
Thank you, Sharon. And now I'll pass it off to Alison.
So the implementation of fluoride was the government directive. Council could have not stopped it, period, without being fined a ridiculous amount of money. I myself don't agree with fluoride in our water, but what council can do to provide the community is to provide the community with an anti-fluoride tap and explore solutions to do this. So many councils across New Zealand have done this, so why can't we?
Thank you, Alison. Now I'll pass it to James.
Yeah, I'm probably on the fence a little bit with this one. I've never had to drink town water, so I'm probably new to it. I even buy water in town, so it's something that we've had to do. Once again, I suppose bureaucracy in New Zealand is they have passed it on to councils. You have to implement it. It's not only the fluoride, there's many other areas as well that is happening exactly the same thing. So as a council, I think they did the right move. So yeah, that's where I stand.
Thank you for that. And now pass it on to Michael.
I had fluoride pills when I was young. I don't believe in forcing the population to have fluoride in their water. I believe 5% of an electorate at a council can force a referendum. I would like to lobby government to force a referendum in every council nationwide to have the ability for the people to choose themselves whether or not they want fluoride in the water, and also for free fluoride pills for those that end up having no fluoride in the water if they want their kids to actually be have fluoride access, so that you can have your cake and eat it too at the same time for all parties involved.
Thank you, Michael. And now I'll pass it off to Dot.
Yeah, right. Controversial topic, this one. I don't believe it should have ever been added at all, and advocated with those that knew better. If we know better, we must do better, even if it was a directive with threats of fines attached to it. We need a council that will speak up for the people, not other agendas and big corporations. We were informed that it was only going to be put in the Dannevirke water supply, and now the southern ward. That was due to population, but how has this changed and why? That would be my answers, my question.
Thank you for that, Dot. And for this question, finally, Thomas.
Yeah, kia ora. Funnily, I looked at this, and I remember giving fluoride tablets to my kids. And the research certainly backs fluoride in the water to help protect teeth. I didn't know the council made decisions to save the district all the monies and fines and whatnot. And there's arguments to and for that. I commend the councillors here for sharing that information. What I know, people don't like being told what to do or force decisions onto them. So that's why this is so controversial. At the end of the day, we want the best for our people, want the best for our tamariki. Is fluoride in the water going to be that bad? Are there other things out there that we should be concerned about more than that? As parents, we have the right to free access to unfluoridated water, and if we can look at options like that for our community, that'll be good options too. Kia ora.
Thank you for that, Thomas. And now we'll move on to hard-hitting question number 2. Okay. Do you support the amalgamation of Carterton and Masterton with Tararua District Council? Why or why not? And I'll start with Susan.
Right, my understanding is that there's currently no discussion of amalgamation between these councils. So at this point in time, I can't say yes or no, because if it's just to go ahead, then it would be legislated more than likely anyway.
All right, I'll pass it over to Trev.
Yeah, again, it's not something that's happening right now. But if it did, I'd be against it because, you know, we are, Tararua is special, and I'd hate us to lose our identity to another region.
Okay, thank you for that, Trev. Now I'll pass it on to Irana.
I guess eventually the writing's on the wall. If you look at what government's doing now with the water services, they're amalgamating each area like we have been put with Carterton and the Wairarapa for water. and this is definitely the writing on the wall that's going to happen around the country. I don't think I do agree with it because we will lose our local voice. But if it's going to save our ratepayers money, and I think I'd need to know all the ins and outs before we signed over our baby.
Thank you for that, Irana. Now I'll pass it over to Steve.
Yes, it's too hypothetical for me to answer firm because I don't have enough information and I can't make a decision on information I don't have. So I don't know what I don't know.
Okay. Pass it on to Sharon.
I'm probably a little bit different. I interpreted this question in a slightly different fashion and wondered whether or not the questioner had missed out a couple of key words in that question. So I've looked at this and I'm assuming it's a decision about the collaboration between Carterton, Masterton, South Wairarapa and Tararua for the delivery of our water services under local water done well. So I voted to support this decision and this direction. It'll allow provision of safe water long term. It'll provide economies of scale. It'll consolidate our expertise and our resources. But there's still many unknowns, and I was having a debate with a member out there in the public about this before. But my experience and understanding of these details will be of value as we move further through this very complex issue for our district. Thank you.
Excellent. And now I'll pass it on to Alison.
So I do not support the amalgamation of district councils, but what I would like to point out is under the local water done well scheme, which is again a government directive, and it is inevitable. I believe that this will future-proof our infrastructure. However, I believe this issue was not consulted on properly, and a lot of people were left in the dark about it. There are still no clear plans around debt, water meters, and how this will impact rural residents and renters. Council needs to be transparent and open with their communication about this, as this will be one of the biggest changes in the most recent years.
Thank you for that. And now I'll pass it on to James.
No, I don't agree with amalgamation. I suppose in hindsight, if you look at what we're at the moment, Tararua District Council, it was an amalgamation years ago. And I personally feel it hasn't worked. They say bigger is better. You amalgamate services into one. I don't feel it has worked. And yeah, that's my opinion on it. I don't think it's worked, and I don't think bigger is always better. Back in the old days, you had few people doing lots of jobs. Now we've got lots of people that seem to be doing not many jobs. So I don't know how amalgamation between big cities and small towns and that is going to work. So that's where I stand on it.
Thank you for that, James. And now I'll pass it on to Michael.
Numbers don't lie, so we need to look at the books to see what they will say. Big government always tries to force its opinion on everywhere else. When Auckland amalgamated, it's now a complete and utter mess. I would wonder whether or not that would be the same. Ultimately, it would have to go through a referendum. It would increase the size of the region exponentially without the population necessarily increasing to be able to garner the roads, and we'll need to lobby the government for support and infrastructure requirements for such a large area, and I think the people would miss out on a say in their direct region, and bigger is never necessarily better, so it would definitely have to be put through to the people first. If the people wanted it, I'd do it, but if the people don't want it, I'd be equally just as happy to say no.
Thank you for that. Dot.
I actually don't know enough to make a decision on this without more information, but I do disagree with more bureaucratic levels within our council.
Okay, and finally for this question, Thomas.
Okay, I looking at this, I don't agree with it. Number one reason is we are special here, and we need to be concerned about our issues here. The pros and the cons of amalgamation are unknown. We've heard it here from several of the candidates, and I don't know, so I'm not prepared to put my neck on the table there, but there needs to be lots of consultation if this is to happen. Take it to the people. People, you choose us to represent you. We do what the people want. Kia ora.
Alrighty.
Just say something that the person had set questions for that. The person was not specific whether it was about local unitary authority. That was there, whereas we've had other questions at Wellington where they've actually mentioned that word unitary authority. So it's a bit of an unknown exactly what this person's based their question on, but when you get questions from the public, these questions pop up, and that's what we're about. Questions come from the community.
Thank you.
Excellent. And now we'll go into hard-hitting question number 3. Oh, okay, here we go. What is your position on retaining the Tararua District Council, Tamaki Nui Arua Māori Ward for the Tararua District Council, and Tonga Māori Constituency for Horizons Regional Council? And why do you hold that position? Starting with Susan.
Yeah, I have already answered this in the other
You did.
question. So just to reiterate, Rangatani has had a partnership agreement since 2000 and Ngāti Kahanu since 2019. I don't feel that they need a special seat on council in addition to those partnership agreements where they can consult and have input into council affairs.
Okay, and now the same question for Trev.
I've given this one quite a lot of thought. So I've got 2 answers for this. First, for the positive, I support retaining them as they strengthen democracy and ensure inclusive governance. And the negative, some feel unnecessary or diverse, but balancing equality with equity is important. In short, positive, fair representation, negative, could be diverse. So in answer to a yes or no, I don't think we need it. We have a great representation of our diverse people lined up here. And if you want to vote for somebody, vote for them without having a special seat. Get out and vote.
Okay, now I'll pass it on to Irana.
When I went on to council 6 years ago, I was the first Māori woman in 30 years at that table, and I don't think that's democracy. So I support the Māori ward. The government made it easier for councils to bring in Māori wards. For us, it was an easy decision, a no-brainer. Having a Māori ward seat has not only given Māori a stronger voice around the table, but it's also helped us build a closer, more respectful relationship with iwi. These changes have made a real difference. Decisions we make as a council affect people, land, resources that are deeply connected to Māori. So it's not only right that Māori are involved in these decisions. Having that dedicated seat means we hear more perspectives and it leads to better, more balanced decisions, ones that reflect the whole community. It's about partnership with our iwi, partnership with the Māori who live here. It's about doing the right thing, and we're a better council because of it.
All right. Thank you for that. Now I'll pass it on to Steve.
Yeah, the referendum which is coming, you get a chance to vote and have your vote in this up and coming election. So the people will speak, and that will be where the country will go. So please fill out that form, fill out and vote.
Thank you for that, Steve. And now I'll pass it on to Sharon.
Thank you. I'm very supportive of Māori wards being retained in this district. We are fairly unique. There's 29% of our community identify as having a voice served alongside our colleague who has occupied that Māori ward seat has been invaluable. It's not a divisive concept. We've embraced it around council, and the Māori lens that's been applied to our long-term decision making, the insights that's been proffered over the past 3 years have been invaluable, and I believe the voice needs to continue. This is not divisive, and it has provided much wisdom to our decision making.
Thank you for that, Sharon. And now I'll pass it on to Alison.
I believe that Māori wards strengthens democracy because it is part of the kaupapa that council is built on. And Māori wards are also beneficial, especially in small rural communities where there is not much representation for Māori in positions of power.
Thank you, Alison. And now I'll pass it on to James.
I think having as many people around the table as we possibly can in council, whether it be Maori, Pākehā, Chinese, Indian, who cares? So the more diverse we can have, the more understanding we can get of our cultures, different cultures. So yeah, on that, I'm actually in favour of it. Retain it.
Thank you, James. And now I'll pass it on to Michael.
Same answer as before. I was on the Maori electoral roll and then switched to the general roll. We need an electoral mandate for them, not just pushed through by others. Once there's an electoral mandate, I'm fine for it. If the people want it, I'm fine for it. If the people choose not to have it, I'm fine for that as well. But so long as there is a mandate there for everyone to agree, then roll on and just make sure you vote. If you feel passionately about it, make sure you vote. That's the whole thing with democracy, and that's the beauty of it, is to make sure you vote. And there's also that 5% threshold. So if you don't like what you get voted on, then 5% of the electorate can force a second referendum. And that's democracy in action as well. So just make sure you vote.
Thank you, Michael. And now I'll pass it on to Dot.
Kia ora everyone. My position is very controversial, but mine regardless. I see no value in having a Māori ward for Tararua. I don't believe it has achieved anything constructive during its time. I actually stood for this position last elections to find out why it was needed and where it, and whom it benefited. I do not believe in compartmentalisation or division, and believe this role has achieved both. I have a question. Why are they not involved in this public discussion?
All right. Well, I hope you find the answer to your question. Now I'll pass it off to Thomas.
Kia ora tātou. People, I'm a realist. This is the real situation. Our Tararua district's made up of 4 Southern Ward representatives, 4 Northern Ward representatives, a mayor, and a Māori Ward representative. Why are they all there? To represent the voices of the people that they are representing at their council table. Each has a unique voice. Each has a collective voice towards the welfare and the growth of our district as a whole. The Māori Ward voice is an important voice for our Māori community. Just like the 4 people that represent the North and the South are for their communities. It's not a racial thing. This is a real thing. I'm a Māori and I'm standing in the general role. When I first made this public to my Māori community, they were in an uproar because they can't vote for me. I can't vote for myself. I want to be a representative for our community as a whole, collectively, for our general role and our Māori community. Kia ora.
Thank you for that. And now we'll move on to closing statements. Susan. Excellent. So if you may stand up, please.
You got me in focus? Fantastic. So as you've heard, we've all got different views on different things, and I'd like to challenge you to actually make an informed vote this time round. There is a lot of changes coming up in the legislative arena that's been going through central government, and it's one of those things that's going to be hold on to your knickers, dears, because it's going to be a hell of a roller coaster for the next 3 years. Now, I've campaigned with the council the last 3 years on changing rating method used for a few of the charges that would actually reduce the majority of the rates bills for ratepayers, and I'd actually like to see that through. And to do that, I need to be part of the long-term plan review process, which is coming up next year. So, yeah, ask questions, make contact, and just be out there voting, getting information. Thank you.
Okay, and now I'd like to pass it on to Trev for their closing statement.
Got it again. Hello. I'm standing for council because I've got a passion. When I had my accident, I nearly died. I'm not saying that because I want to say it. I nearly died, and I survived. And one of the surgeons said to me, "The only reason you're alive is because you've got a good heart." And I took that two ways. I've got a strong heart that wanted to keep beating, and I've got a good heart for people. I serve. I've been in Lions where they serve. I do lots of things like the cinema. I've done thousands of hours unpaid, voluntary, because I want to see it flourish. Every 2 weeks, I go from my house in Dannevirke to Palmerston North to give plasma, and I've been doing that for years. Why? Because I want to serve. I want to help people. I want your vote so I can be a voice for the people of Tararua. Thank you. Kia ora.
Thank you, Trev. And now I'll give it to Irana for their closing statement.
It has been an honour to serve you as the Deputy Mayor for the past 6 years and a privilege to represent our community I was born and raised in. I'm standing again because I truly believe in the future of our district and what we can achieve if we work together. We've already shown the power of our united voice through the toll-free Tararua campaign, proving that when Tararua stands together, we get results. Looking ahead, my priorities are clear: keeping rates affordable through responsible financial management, making sure that that local water done well transition works for our district, and supporting recreational upgrades for our tamariki and rangatahi through smarter alternative funding, not rates funded. I bring experience, proven leadership, and a real passion for helping people. If re-elected, I'll keep your voice at the council table and work hard for every part of the Tararua. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'll hand it over to Steve for their closing statement.
Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is get a new heater for the town hall if I'm re-elected. Having served as a councillor for the last 3 years, I've learnt a lot about local government. I feel with this knowledge, I will give valuable service to our council. So please, thank you for your support and thank you for turning up today in this very cold hall.
Yes, and we know, we here at It's in the Ballot really do appreciate the audience turning up as well. We know it is cold in here. Okay. It was, yes it was. Okay. Well, you know. Sharon.
The next few years for Tararua are going to be exciting and there'll be lots of changes. And I'm a firm believer that a voice of experience around the council table is needed. Those of you who know me and have seen council meetings, you know that I ask questions. I ask questions about the finances, the debt, the risk, and very much focused on community. I make decisions based on prudent and appropriate use of our voters' money. I will work hard and stand on my principles as I advocate for our community. There is much to do and I'm keen to keep on doing it. So please vote for Sharon Wards, an experienced voice on council during changing times. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And now for Alison, for their closing statement.
So my campaign isn't just for young people. It's for everyone who wants to see a vibrant community built on trust, transparency, and transformation. There is so much untapped potential in this district, but it's about utilising the resources we already have. That includes boosting tourism, supporting businesses, and supporting young people as well. But vote for Alison Amboy this election to see change and so I can be the voice for you. I'll do the hard work, I'll ask the hard questions, and I'm ready to fight for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. And now we'll pass it on to James for their closing statement.
Yeah, I'd like to get back to the basics. I advocate for that. I'm a farmer. I know infrastructure, farming. We do that every day of the week. You have a storm, you got to fix it. I know there's costs involved. I've been in that governance role at the golf course, so I know finances as well. So yeah, vote for James.
Fantastic. And now I'll hand it over to you, Michael.
So I'm a property investor. I've got a jewellery company. I work at a slaughterhouse. As far as council goes, the slaughterhouse said that they'd work with me as long as I give them lots of heads up as to what hours I'll be working in council. But I like results. I'm a book nerd. I like to tear apart the accounting to get actual results and not listen to dribble that leads to nothing and leads to the same results. I want our rates to be under control, and I want the water finally fixed, not just talked about and looked around and nothing done. If you want results, vote for me. If you want the same old, then carry on the same path and you'll get the same results. So a vote for me will be a vote for change and real results and accountability. Because if I don't get results, I'm not going to stand for a second term or do anything like that. I'll bow out. So if you want change, vote for me.
Thank you, Michael. And now to Dot for their closing statement.
Short and sweet. I decided to stand this time again for council rather than the Māori ward for reasons given. There is a lot of change coming, and I'm not sure that the public is fully prepared for what that looks like. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. I'm a bit frustrated about the way this is run today, because I can't fully express my views on things. Getting questions out of a box doesn't really do it for me, but it is what it is. Kia ora.
Thank you, Dot, and we do appreciate you for being here. And now finally, Thomas, for your closing statement.
Kia ora tātou. Just thank you everyone for coming out today and those that are online watching. You've seen me today. I'm a passionate individual. You heard that. I'm back in town. Mr. Scott's back in town. I want to be part of the change. You've got an important decision to make in October to choose 3 teammates for me to work with to represent you. I am your strong voice for our community. Mr. Scott's got you. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, and please give a big round of applause to our candidates. Well, yes, I am the host, but normally you get to say the final statements if you want to come over here and. You know what to say? Well, I just want to say a big thank you again to the candidates and to the audience. You guys have been fantastic. It's an absolute pleasure to host this today, and I know my hosting skills aren't the best, but I hope everyone. Are they fine? Is everyone? Yeah, they're fine. Oh, thank you so much. But anyways, I just wanted to say again, big thank you to the people that have tuned in online. Yep, and I hope you guys come back later to see the next debate. 7 p.m.